Our second topic for today, I want to jump into what's happened in Tennessee. Ran Carthon was fired today after 2 years in charge. Um, this is a continuation of a tumultuous couple of years for the Titans. In December of 2022, they fired John Robinson, their general manager, who I believe never had a losing season there. And part of that was, where they were organizationally and some of the decisions that they'd made. And the AJ Brown thing was obviously a lightning rod there. That decision to trade away AJ Brown, and there was a loss to the Eagles that year where AJ Brown had a big game. But they felt like they needed to hit reset and modernize. So they did that. They went in and they brought in Ran Carthon as general manager, Chad Brinker as assistant general manager in January of 2023. They tried to pair those two with Mike Vrabel. That, in the eyes of Amy Adams Strunk, didn't work. She wasn't there day to day, but when she would come in, she didn't like the environment in the building. And so she winds up walking away from Vrabel in January of 2024. At the same time, at that point, they decide to elevate Chad Brinker, who's a brilliant football guy, came up in the Packers organization, worked in scouting, then went and got his MBA at Kellogg, worked under Russ Ball for a time in Green Bay. He's got a varied experience, analytics, cap, player personnel. He's done all of it. So they elevate Chad Brinker to be the president of football ops. Well, why'd they do that? Well, they did that because they felt like they needed somebody to set things up on the football side, because their team president is more of a business side guy, and make sure that everything's aligned and make sure that it all works together. So Chad Brinker is named the president of football operations in January of 2024. They go through this season, obviously a massively disappointing season, worst team in the league, number one overall pick, after hiring Brian Callahan as the coach, and now as Ran Carthon, who's taking the bullet in January of 2025. This obviously looks really, really messy. I do think in Brinker and Callahan, they have two really, really good pieces. I think I tell you, I think Brian Callahan was one of the brightest head coaching candidates of the last decade. And I think the people in Cincinnati would tell you this. I think Joe Burrow himself would tell you this. I think the receivers there, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, would tell you how good Brian Callahan is at his job. And I think that they need some time. Obviously, they hitched their wagon to the wrong horse, and choosing to go forward with Will Levis as their quote unquote franchise quarterback in 2024. They know they need to fix that position. They've got the number one overall pick to do it. Now they'll bring in a GM. I think the biggest question is, how is that GM job perceived? Is it a full GM job? Is it GM light? Sort of feels like it'll be like a GM light type of job. But one relationship I think that's worth paying attention to here is the one between Chad Brinker and Ian Cunningham. Those two know each other. It wouldn't stun me if Ian Cunningham, the Bears assistant GM, gets a real look there. Cunningham, one of the rising names in the personnel community. And then maybe they can bring together the organization in a way that they just frankly have struggled to do over the last couple of years.